Hello, my dear students. Have a great day to all of you. Myself, Mrs. Kavita Kanade from LVH College, Panchwati, Nasik, and this is our OCM's lecture. We already started the third chapter, that is entrepreneurship development. In last lecture, we studied about the functions of an entrepreneur, then the meaning, characteristics of an entrepreneur. In this lecture, we will learn about the process of entrepreneurship development. In that process, we will learn about the 2 points, that is training and entrepreneurship development program, that is EDP. Entrepreneurship development is one of the most defining moment in a country's development. It is very important to develop entrepreneur as they are the job givers. They produces new products, they provide services, they raise the standard of living of the people because they gives the employment to the people. The government has realized the importance of entrepreneurs in a country and is taking various steps to make an environment favorable for the growth of entrepreneurship. Due to new ventures, new employment opportunities are created and it leads to overall economic development. That's why it is called as entrepreneurs are the backbone of the country's economy. For that purpose, process of entrepreneurship development learning is important. In that first point is training. Earlier it was thought that entrepreneurs are born and not made. But in modern days or in modern thinking, it is said that though some entrepreneurs may be born, but at a large number of them can be nurtured by education and training. That means if we give the proper training or we give the proper education to the employers or to the people who want to start the new business, new ventures, they want to innovate new things, then it is possible for them to give. It is possible to become an entrepreneur. Training is the scheme of instructions which is planned systematically and consistent to measure its effectiveness. Training is provided for marketing goods, new production methods, managerial skills development. That means training is provided for marketing goods, how to market the goods, how to advertise the goods and services, because it is so much important to market the goods, because if only production process is there and then there is no sales of that goods, then there is no use of that. That's why marketing is important funda in this nowadays. That's why advertisement plays an important role in that. Then in training process, the entrepreneurs, the newcomers, they get the training about how to market their goods or how to advertise the goods, how the new production methods used, and they also the training program also develop the managerial skills in the entrepreneurs. It helps to improve the overall efficiency of an entrepreneur and exposes him to happening within outside the industry. Training therefore helps in overall development of an entrepreneur and makes him more capable of managing a business. That means training facilitates the entrepreneur to come in the market and with the help of training they become more capable of managing a business. Some training methods involves lectures, demonstrations, conferences and seminars. These are the methods used for the training purpose. There are also various colleges in India where entrepreneurship education is provided. These all are the these all processes contained in training program. Then the second is entrepreneurship development programs. a program designed to help a person in strengthening his entrepreneurship motive and in acquiring skills and necessarily capabilities necessarily for playing his entrepreneur role efficiently. That means EDP is designed to bring out the entrepreneur abilities of a person. It also helps in developing his skills and capabilities to establish an enterprise and enable him to manage it successfully. Following are the objectives of EDP. What are the objectives of EDP? To foster entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial growth in the country. Foster means to develop the entrepreneurship growth in the country. Then the second objective is optimum use of available resources. To develop backward regions. How to develop the backward regions? When an entrepreneur or when the new entrepreneur is developed in the backward regions, then automatically the people in that region gets employment opportunity, and because of that development of that region is become easy, or that it become possible to generate employment opportunities. And the fifth objective is widen, widening base for small and medium scale industries. These are the objectives of EDP. Now, recent incentives in entrepreneurship development are taken by the government of India. Which are that incentives? That is Startup India, Stand Up India, and Agrotourism. These three are the incentives in entrepreneurship development taken by an Indian government. Startup India, Stand Up India. What is the meaning of Startup India? Startup India is an initiative of the Government of India. The campaign was first announced by Indian Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi during his 15th August 2015 address from the Red Fort in New Delhi. That means it is announced by Mr. Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, in 2015, and it was launched in 2016. A startup is defined as an entity having its headquarters in India, which was opened less than 10 years ago and has annual turnover of less than rupees 100 crores. What is the aim of Startup India? It aims at building an ecosystem which will nurture startups in the country. That means to encourage the new entrepreneurs, to encourage the view to start the new technology, to start the new business. It is developed by the government to generate large scale employment opportunities, because it is the need of our economy to generate more and more employment opportunities. Sustainable economic growth, and when there is a economic development in the country, that means when there is a employment generation in the country, the people get good salary, wages, and automatically there is a economic growth. To make India a nation of job creators instead of job seekers. These are the main aims of Startup India. Under this initiative, the government has already launched the iMade program to help Indian entrepreneurs to build 10 lakh mobile app startups. That means in this initiative, government provided 10 lakh mobile apps for the startup. The Mudra Bank scheme, that is Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, is an initiative by Indian government which aims to provide microfinance, low finance or low interest rate to the entrepreneurs who are from the low social economic background. That means from the entrepreneurs who are poor and they want to start up the new ventures, then the government also provides the finance or the low interest rate loans to such people or to such entrepreneurs. One of the objective of Indian government is to make India a nation of job creators instead of job seekers. That means when an entrepreneur is developed, then he gives the job to the people. That means he become a job creator. Thus, the government want to encourage entrepreneurship and to promote innovations. It aims at creating such an ecosystem which will be conducive for the growth of startups in India. It was launched in 2016. It aims as building an ecosystem which will nurture startups in the country. Nurture, that means to give the facilities for the startups, new ventures, to starting new ventures to the entrepreneurs, so that sustainable economic growth and large scale employment opportunities can be generated. Thus, the government of India has announced Startup India Action Plan that focuses on the certain areas, that is simplification and handholdings. Simplification and handholding means when there is a new when there is new business start, then the process for startups will be made easily. Similarly, if there is winding up, that means if the venture not get profit and they want to close their business, then that process is also become easy in this process. Then the funding support and incentives. That means in Startup India, government provides different types of funds to the people, to the entrepreneurs who start the new ventures. They also they get the benefit in income tax and other taxes also. This is all about the Startup India. Startup India. In this service-oriented startups are also include like Swiggy, Zomato, urban services. Nowadays, we watch on the TV urban services. They provide each and every service in at the home. That means this type of service providing industries are also coming in the this type Startup India program. Now, the Stand Up India. What is the meaning of Stand Up India? Stand Up India was launched by government to support entrepreneur among women and SC/ST categories communities by providing financial support. That means when the business start in Startup India initiative, there is government provide the facilities to start a new venture. And when venture is start, then Stand Up India provides the financial aid or financial help to the women and SC/ST communities by providing them some financial support. For that, eligibility is there. That means that is first, SC/ST or women entrepreneurs are above 18 years of age. That means they completed the 18 years of age. Then second is loan available for only greenfield project. That loan available for only greenfield project. What is greenfield project? Greenfield project means the ventures or the business which is first time started by the entrepreneurs. The first time venture of the beneficiary in the manufacturing or service or trading sector. That means he is the newcomer or he established a new venture. There at that time they get the loan facility. And the third is in case of non-individual enterprises, 51% of the shareholding and controlling stake should be held by either SC/ST or women entrepreneurs. That means if there is a in case of non-individual enterprises, that means there is a partners, two or three partners, then one partner should be from the SC/ST category, or it should be woman entrepreneur. These are the eligibility for the Stand Up India initiative. Then third is agrotourism. What is the meaning of agrotourism? Agrotourism is also known as the rural tourism. These three are generally Startup India, Stand Up India, and agrotourism generally ask for the short notes. That's why, and it is also important from the point of view of the board exams, because this part is newly come in the book. Last year, there is this is not in your syllabus. That's why it is important from the point of view of the board exam. That's why you should prepare for it. What is agrotourism? Agrotourism is based upon automatically agro means agricultural tourism, and agriculture mainly found in the rural areas. That's why it is also called as a rural tourism. Agrotourism is the idea of bringing urban residents to rural areas for leisure, travel, and spendings. That means urban residents, that means the citizens in the city area, the children in city area, or the people in cities. They don't know about the agricultural activities, or they want to find they always find the leisure travel and spendings. That's why this is the best way to start agrotourism, and it is also one type of subsidiary income source for the farmers. Agrotourism is a commercial enterprise at a working farm, ranch, or agricultural plants conducted for the enjoyment of visitors that generates supplement income for the owner. It is one type of a supplement income for the owners. In this agrotourism, there are certain activities, that is outdoor recreation. What is outdoor recreation? Outdoor recreation means providing trekking, fishing, hunting, wildlife study, horseback riding. The farmer provide all these activities to the visitors, or to the people who visit to the farm. These are all the outdoor recreation: trekking, fishing, hunting, wildlife study, and horseback riding. Then educational experiences. In educational experiences, there is a farming experiences like rice plantation, cooking experience on chula, that is called as educational experiences. That means this people in the city don't know about how to plant rice, or how to cook the food on the chulha. That is the new experience for the people, and they really enjoy, and with the enjoyment they also get the knowledge. That's why it is educational experiences for them. Then the entertainment, harvest festivals are there. Harvest festivals like hurda party in Maharashtra. In hurda party, there are different kind of food served to the visitors. In hospitality services, hospitality, that means farm stays, then guided tours or outfitted services are provided. That means the hoteling, lodging service is also provided with that. The people also stay there for the 2 3 days, and they enjoy the atmosphere of the farming or the cool and silent nature of the village side. They enjoy all these in this hospitality services. Then on farm direct sales. That means a peak operations or roadside stands. Happy customers will definitely return. They will also tell their friends and family about farm. Farmers can add value to their guest experiences by offering them refreshment. They can select products that complements what they produce on farms, such as milk or buttermilk, butter samples, fruits, and the food made on the chulha. All these contain in this agrotourism. With the time and creativity, farmers can expand their recreation enterprise through fun, entertaining activities. That's why agrotourism also plays an important role to give it is also give the supplementary income to the farmers, such as bullock cart riding also provided. It is also our outdoor recreation. In Nasik, there is also agrotourism facility provided by some farmers like Keshar Bagh, Ashoka village. All these are so based on the agrotourism activity. Then the last part of this chapter is entrepreneurs. In an entrepreneur is an employee who has the authority and support of his company or employer to implement his own innovative and creative ideas. That means he is an employee who works in an entrepreneur. His ideas or product may or may not earn immediate revenue for the company. Still, the employee keeps receiving his salary. That means entrepreneurship is a tackling the challenges of bringing new innovation to market. Entrepreneurs, it is definitions given of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the dreamers who take hands-on responsibility for creating innovation of any kind within a business. Entrepreneurship is the entrepreneurship within an existing organization. Here, the picture of intrapreneur and the intrapreneur. Entrepreneur is the own boss. He has the more risk. Then he also got the more freedom because he is the owner of the business. That's why he has the more risk because he invests the capital or finance in the business. That's why he has the more risk. He is the own boss of his business and he also got the more freedom. These are the characteristics of entrepreneur. And entrepreneur, he is the employee. That's why he has the less risk because he get a monthly salary, and that's why he have the less risk. Then the less freedom because he is employee. Then the employed in an organization. This is the difference between entrepreneur and entrepreneur. Many large organizations have dedicated research and development departments where employees were encouraged to use their creative abilities. Such an idea or innovative products may get the profit in the future. Kinetic India, Tata Motors, Infosys Technologies, etc. are some of such companies who encourages entrepreneurship. Thank you for watching or thank you for listening the lecture carefully. This is the last part of this chapter, and the chapter third is completed. All the questions or the assignment salt carefully, and thank you for listening carefully. Thank you. um, Stay at home, stay safe. Goodbye.